Look at this. This is looking rough. Rough. Yeah, yeah. I should have fixed my lion's mane. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Ah. Okay. Before I get into the message, I think the title says something like Honorable Feminine shows community how to handle ish shit with grace or elegance or something like that. Okay, now, Honorable Feminine's not perfect, so let's get that out of our heads, okay? Neither am I trying to imply that she is on a collective scale. But before that, I get into that, okay? Earlier, there was a song playing that seemed to happen in sync to whatever was going on with the Honorable Feminine, okay? Like towards the end of something, okay? Um, Funny. That is so funny. Yeah, as she was just moving on. Okay. So the Honorable Feminists have had so many people playing with their lives. Okay. This has been the theme of their life. Okay. People obsessed, people with, obsessed with playing God, obsessed with trying to prove that they're bigger, badder, better, while simultaneously needing to follow them and hoover them and steal from them. Okay. Um, just really utilizing their people utilizing their positions of power, resources, spell work, all those things to basically, pull strings. I'm going to, do some spells. I'm going to contact this one. I'm going to have that one to send this one the message. I'm going to do. Okay, so they've been doing that. They've been stealing from the collective, having people hoover them, watching when they're moving in and out so that people can go do various different things. They've had people attempt to make them sick, you name it, okay? And, just basically trying to sabotage, just going along with the reading that's currently running. Currently, there's an upload that I have running that's talking about these unexpected legal issues that some of these karmics don't know is going to happen, collective don't know what's going to happen, because it's going to be something small. It's not going to be the big shit. Everybody is expecting something big to eventually happen because of the big things, but that's not what's going to get them. It's going to be something small, okay? And that something small is going to be what leads to the unraveling of a whole lot of other shit, okay? Now, so collective, if you're the Honorable Feminine, have been dealing with community organized harassment, MK Ultra, MK Naomi, distorted practitioners in every kind of arena possible since you were born. They amplified this, okay, because you won't break, you won't comply, you won't kiss ass, you see what I'm saying? You won't play the game. And also because you called it out, you're calling out abuse, you're calling out shit like people infringing on your human and civil rights and that of your children in the name of whatever, whether it's in the name of they think they're superior, in the name of entitlement, in the name of a spiritual or religious belief, in the name of they don't like you because you fucked with so and so, whatever the reason is. Most of you all are dealing with people that have been stalking you on social media, and that's the driving force of a lot of the hatred. Okay, you all could be straight shooters. You may be someone who clown, but that's the nature of social media. These are the same people who have clowned you, okay, your whole life, who currently, get in their groups and do all sorts of things talking about you on their various social medias and platforms and so forth. But these are people who cannot take the heat. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. And so what happens is they all rally for causes they don't like you, okay? And so with that, they use their muscle, okay? They use their muscle with, I know this one, I know that one, I know this one, I know that one. Okay, you guys are possibly on the whole fusion center thing because they illegally put you guys on some kind of a watch list. and they are misusing the government programs for their nefarious reasons in order to target you. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to say. So, okay, y'all done dealt with a whole lot of injustices, right? It ain't funny, but I'm just saying it's like ridiculous here. And this is all in an attempt. They want to break you. Who's not obsessed with breaking somebody? Folks really need to get new hobbies, new, you know, somebody minding their business. What is this addiction to needing you to suffer? For some of you, they need that because they're getting paid for that. Okay, there's money on the table to have you struggling and suffering. Okay, the more they can keep you in an energy of struggle and suffer, then they can steal what's yours. Okay, so these people have went as far as, like I said, to infiltrate you all's personal space, your children's personal space, just to be close. Hear that? Just to be close, just so they can figure out and monitor how to sabotage you. Just so they can figure out how to monitor and sabotage your children. Just so they can, yeah. And so they can steal. Some of them are trying to hide under your energy because they're trying to, this is not going to work this time. Okay, they can get as close as they want and steal your dirty draws, and your dirty draws is going to turn into pussy swords, okay, for their asses. Okay, it's not going to be no honorable feminine essence, nothing. Them trying to continue with this destiny swapping and trying to cloak under your essence and trying to put their essence on you is about to turn really nasty and ugly. Okay, doing their voodoo and all of that shit over you and your children is about to make all these people age rapidly. Yep. It's about to make a whole lot of people age rapidly. It's going to make them tired. It's going to make them sick. It's going to, yeah, because they're persisting. All in the name of trying to get narcissistic supply by knowing that, ooh, look at me, I'm powerful. I can hide in somebody's apartment and do spell work. Ooh, look at me, I'm powerful. I can call people that I put spells on and convince them to be mean to you. These are people who have basically paid folks to be unkind to you, to turn you away, to say no, to look at you in a light that's not true. And they have been doing this for years. Paid people to waste your time, paid people to act like they care, paid people to then retract that. This is what they've been doing to make you feel some kind of way about you. And then hopefully to make you want to off yourself, because who wants to deal with all this unkindness and not understanding why is everybody so mean to you? Why is everybody so unkind to you? But people believe liars like it ain't nothing, right? It's because they've been hoovering around you, following you around, and making phone calls and sending text messages and telling people, spinning stories and telling them to turn you away or to look at you in a certain way. Whether this was applying for a job, whether this was, trying to have friendships, whether this was seeking out some kind of support and assistance. Mm-hmm. And so what they thought that they would do this time around, because this is something that they've been doing. So what they thought that this would do this time is like, okay, let's see, because I got spells running on all these motherfuckers, and you know what I'm saying? I can have this one call this one as they're swarming you and following you around all day. I can have somebody, do a spell on brother so-and-so, or I can even have them send them a text message and call them and say, don't give them that person nothing. Don't talk to them. Don't help them. They're slut. They're a prostitute. They're like lying, basically tell them the truth about who they are. But that's what these kind of people do. Okay. So they wanted you to feel hopeless in that because they got all the clout and all of these community connections that was supposed to make you want to off yourself or feel hopeless. But You have showed these people how to take shit and deal with shit and strive with a smile on your face, with relentless pursuit, with a relentless, even when you have a bad day, even when you have, where you express your anger, but you continue on. Okay. You have showed these people, like, see, this is how you stop being karmic. This is what you do. You deal with shit, even when the shit is unjust. This is how you stop being a karmic. Okay. You make the best of any situation, and you keep on keeping on. Okay. And what you did was, ain't nothing gonna take my stride. Ain't nothing gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. You have your moments, you have your feelings, you process, you deal with that, but you're like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do what the hell I have to do. Okay. So now here's what's fascinating. As you all went about trying to seek the help, for these situations that you guys have found yourself in, feminine, you could have went across someone in a situation where you backed up, stopped, and went to talk to them. They acted like they, wanted to assist and blase blase. But you felt a little bit of their offness. You're like, okay, well, they're saying to get off at 5. They're saying, hi there. They're saying blase blase, implying that they want to assist. I'll get off at 5. And then all of a sudden, like you wait, and all of a sudden they come out and they acting different, right? But you knew this time. You felt the vibes. You saw all of the ops swarm they raggedy, trashy ass around as usual. Okay. You already knew the vibes. Okay. You sensed them, you saw them, and you even felt them doing spell work. Okay. So you sat there, maybe you went under a tree, did some things like, okay, let's play with this. Then he comes out and go, blah, blah, blah. You're like, you can already tell. It's like, you didn't know that an hour ago. You could have said that. Because I could have been somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, boom. You walked off. All these energies though that participate in that are not aware that they just manifested a curse. They put a curse on themselves. Yes, they did. Yes, the fuck. People playing with your time, okay? Your energy, your time, your emotions. People lacking human empathy and compassion, okay? Prejudging, misjudging, or taking people's words for shit. All of that is under judgment. Okay, the people that cast spells and the manipulation, all that, they're under judgment. They're going to get, most of them are going to get some kind of surprise by the end of the night. Others is going to be by tomorrow. It's going to be something to match whatever that was for you. Okay, whether they like it or not, they are. Period. Point blank. Somebody may lose an hour's pay, an hour's worth of pay from their job. Somebody may get misled, or something happens, feel like their time was wasted, and they may not even connect the dots, but it is going to happen. Okay. Um, so now, boom, don't mind my lion's mane. Okay, and then now, you guys went on because again, you're a mother, you're a parent. You're gonna deal. You don't have the pride issue. You know how to ask for help with grace and elegance, but you're also not a beggar. See what I'm saying? So you're representing honor. You're representing how you handle that. Okay, with some kind of elegance, some kind of decency, even when you sense that people are playing with you. Okay, so you could have went on from that, and then went about and talked to a few other folks, and to no avail. Maybe you guys tried to, if you're anything like me, I've been knowing how to do a lemonade stand since I was a kid, possibly. But since a young woman, since my 20s, always trying to be innovative. Maybe I can do some hair. Maybe I can clean, a dental office, and just utilizing whatever I could instead of just relying on one thing. And then if that one thing isn't not working or isn't enough, then just sitting there. So I don't have a problem with trying to be creative and be entrepreneurial. Okay. People have been blocking my entrepreneurial here in social media because they've been stealing it for themselves. Okay. But I've never had a problem with that. Okay. When me and my son first came to Texas, there was this lady that like rents out apartments and I needed money. Okay. To help my son and to help myself. And so she needed the apartment cleaned up real good before being able to rent it out. And I did that. I ain't too proud. I'm not above that. Okay. Those are karmic issues. I'm not above walking. I am not above cleaning. I am not above, any of those things. Okay. If push comes to shove. Okay. So y'all did what y'all had to do. You assess your situation. They're ridiculous. You assess your situation, you see what you have at your disposal, and you make good of it. So that's what I did. That's what you all did, honorable feminine. Like, okay, boom, this is what it is. We ain't gonna waste time. What the fuck I got to sell these roller skates, bitch? Because I bought some roller skates a while ago. I almost broke my ass. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm almost 50 years old. I really don't know what I was thinking. I was feeling my inner child and I wanted to roller skate and get some old fashioned, roller derbies, right? Boy, I tried to do it twice. I ain't put them skates on since, child. Because I'm trying to break my ass. I don't have no balance uh, to do that no more. So, anywho, high rule. So I decided, like, okay, do what you can do. I'm sharing this for a reason, collective. Because people have lots of presumptions and opinions and views that's ignorant, based on ignorance. Okay. So what do you do in these situations? You try to assess based on the rules and the laws and what you have at your disposal and everything, considering all things. You do the best that you can do with that. Normally I would have put it on somewhere like Facebook, Etsy to see what, if you can get a bite. But in this situation, it wasn't time. It wasn't time for that. I needed to get something, so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to creatively say, okay, would you like these skates? Christmas is coming. Somebody that you can give it to for a gift, a donation. You have to be real creative with that type of stuff. Okay, so I went on and talked to several different people to no avail. I kept going. Okay, likewise you kept going. And then me, I end up hearing that song, Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride. Ain't nothing gonna, like at the very end, right before I end up getting a breakthrough. Okay. So this is what I want you all to catch about this too. Okay. I came into Crunch Fitness and discussed some things with one of the representatives there. I thought my payment had went through because my payments were automatic and they have been paid on time, since ever I had the membership without a problem. Okay, up until recently. And when I had asked, I thought it had went through, and it didn't. And so since there's some financial problems, I couldn't remedy it. I couldn't remedy it as fast. So I was like, okay, how much time I got? I just went to chit chat. It's like, what, how much time? Because I'm dealing with this, and I'm gonna try to get to this, blase, blase, before it gets to collections and so forth. And and that's when one of the representatives was very kind. It was like, well, I told them about what was happening. I asked if they knew anybody that may want some skates for a Christmas gift for somebody. And, explained my situation a little bit. I didn't give them everything. And they were like, oh, okay, well, no, we don't. But what I can do is this time, considering since all those payments were always on time and full without one problem, um, we can waive the fees this time and so that you can take care of that. So that, was, something that was a gift to me. And I honored that. Like, okay, this is to help. And you get to still, because I'm technically homeless, and, we don't have a phone, we don't have an internet. So it's like, this is 24 hours here. They have a shower, they have a massage, all this stuff. So, it was like, okay, that was definitely a gift so that we can keep that going so I can still come here to do what I need to do and bring my son. Okay. So I was like, boom. That was one confirmation to me. It's like, they not winning. Look, they just helped you clear that. And I was like, okay, boom. Walked out of there. I walked I walked out of there. Then I was like, okay, boom. And that's when I heard over like the intercom or loudspeaker, ain't nothing gonna break my stride, something like that. Where did I hear that at? Oh, no, 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 I'm wrong. It was after. So as I left there, then my eyes were drawn to like this area that I think this quote meet at. I think there's an area in the Parkdale Mall. I think there's some empty buildings and empty spaces in the Parkdale Mall that they meet at because you see a lot of their cars parked over there constantly. Okay. So I was just being nosy because I was like, shit. I was feeling some way. I was like, what's going on over there? Because the same ones is over there, and some of them are the cars that's always following me. Okay. So now, as I walked over there, I saw some people act like they were going over that direction, and then all of a sudden, they stopped and turned around and go the other direction. I kept going, and as I kept going, there was this beautiful butterfly. I've been seeing butterflies the last couple of days, like a trillion of them. But this butterfly was like swarming me. It was very pretty, and it just kept like flying around me. And I was like, oh, butterfly, butterfly. Okay. And as I saw the butterfly, then I stopped. I stopped, and like the butterfly like lands, and I like leaned down because I wanted to see if it was gonna let me touch it or if it was gonna land on me because it kept swarming. So it let me like get near it. It just stayed right there. I was like, oh, pretty. The next thing I know, there was a truck that came around, and it's like, hey, what are you doing? What you doing? What you doing there? And I was like, oh, butterfly. I was like, butterfly, a pretty butterfly. Like, and then they smile, and I got up because they addressed me first, but I got up and I was like, hey, do you know anyone that may be interested? Blase, blase, into the skates. Okay. The skates were on my shoulder, so it was clear, it was obvious. Okay. Anybody who might want some skates for Christmas, I know somebody, donation. I'm trying to get some money to feed my son, blase. And he was like, what? I don't have any use for any skates. He's like, but I can help you out. The difference. What I saw here was, see, for him, it wasn't nothing to do with whether or not he wanted this skate, nothing like that. He just wanted to assist. Okay. And of course, he was flirty and stuff. Those things are a given. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it was out of nowhere. I told him, I was like, be careful. I gave him a little bit of the gist of what's happening. I was like, that these people, I'm trying to manifest my way out of here. These people are hell bent on blah, 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 me and my son, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, here's my number, blah, 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 blah. Maybe I can help. And I was like, okay. I said, well, I don't have a phone. I said, but hey, let's exchange that. Be careful. I said, because they after me. I said, now they finna be after you. I sure did. I said that because if he not a part of it, they are. Okay. If he not a part of it, because sometimes they already be a part of it. Okay. Remember, we talked about honeypots. Okay. Sometimes they are. Other times they're not. But what ends up happening is they start going after these people. And this is why they'll like drop off the face of the earth. Right. So I walked away from that. I'm like, wow, what I caught from that was the moment I just, I did everything that I could. I took the game playing, the straight lying, all of that with stride and grace and elegance, and I kept going. And then the moment that I stopped to basically allow myself to enjoy butterflies in nature and still give myself that space, then something was drawn to me. Like caught, I caught someone's attention, and that's how it happened. So anyway, that's just like a little side thing I picked up, like, a difference in the approaches I had and when I actually got fruitful assistance. Now, do I know for sure if that person is involved or not? I haven't asked. I haven't tapped in, to discover all of that. Okay. I took that and I went and did what my initial goal was to do, which was to get some food for my son until I can remedy a situation for him. Okay. And of course, they still continue to swarm and stalk and mock and do the things that they've been doing, and they're still doing spell work. I mean, this is all they're doing above his unit. I think that's just it. I think they're just bunked up in there um, doing spells all day. That's just how I feel. Like there's, between whoever go through there and who's staying there, I think that's all they do with that attempt. It's very sad, very pathetic. But and even though it wasn't like $1 trillion, it's not about that. It's about the fact that they ain't got it the way they think they got it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they can pull strings and do that with those who are in, about that bullshit. At the end of the day, we're gonna find a way. Our team is gonna help us to find a way, and we're not gonna have to no forms and disrespect the spicy workers, but we won't have to do that. Okay, we won't have to. This was a part of why I even told the gentleman. I was like, I hope I'm not coming off. I said, this is why I have my skates. Because I'm not looking for something for nothing. I'm not looking for something for free. And I'm not, doing nothing else. Okay, I'm just trying to do what I can with what I have. These are basically brand new skates, and Christmas is coming. Okay, seeing what I can do with that so that I can feed myself. And I told someone earlier today, I'm like, you know what? People don't get this. If I wanted to be something, I could be something. I need that to be understood. Actually, fuck me. I don't need it to be understood. But I'm just going to make it clear. If I wanted to be a schmostitute, I could be. Okay? Let me say it again. If I wanted to be a call girl escort. Let's just find the very pretty, fanciful words for it, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I could be. I could. Okay, I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dead, and I'm not a dog. You know what I'm saying? I could very well utilize my siren energy if I want to. Okay, I have my own personal feelings about it. I personally, especially Texas has been flagged to have a lot of cases of STDs stuff. I don't want to entangle my energy. Okay. No disrespect and harm to those who feel differently about it. Okay. But I was telling somebody if I did those things, I wouldn't be struggling. See, that's the funny thing. It's like if that's what I was on, I wouldn't be out here like that. I wouldn't be suffering the things because I would be plotting and scheming like karmics. I would be out here being a romantic scammer. Okay. If that's how I wanted to live my life, if that was my sustenance, if that's the way I get through, that as soon as shit had happened, then I would have decided, oh, okay, well let me go start dating. I certainly wouldn't be sitting here struggling and going without a phone and internet and all that stuff if I was somebody out here entertaining doing things. People need to really start thinking and using their intellect and using their intuition about things. It's like this person, they can do it, and they wouldn't have to be asking us for no money if they were doing those things. Because it sure ain't like there's a lack of people that would. It ain't a lack of people willing. Okay, and feminine, that's you too. That's you too. You're trying to be an example. You want to care for your body. You could be more body mindful now. Like, look, shit, I ain't 20 no more. I can't be doing that. Can't be out here just doing shit. Playing Russian roulette. You want some self honor and some self respect, and you want to be with people because you want to be with people, not because you're a survival relationship. Like a lot of these people. Okay. So feminine, you show these people, where they're trying to humiliate you and they're trying to make you feel some kind of way. It's like you putting them to fucking shame. Because again, these people got all this shit, but yet there's something wrong with them. They got all this, they got all this support, they got all this stuff, but yet they trailing you. See what I'm saying? These are people who don't have a job, but they feel like they need a car. Which is nothing wrong with it. But the whole point that I'm making is like they walk into the store and all this shit when it's up the street it's beneath them. They don't. That's embarrassing. But yet you're the one that's supposed to be full of arrogance. You're the one that's supposed to be full of pride. Okay. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Them don't have no problem with all that. She look at it as like this is exercise. This is gonna give me opportunity to move. This is gonna give me opportunity to move my body. Give me opportunity. Okay, to get some movements, some sunshine, some outside air. Not going from one compartment to another compartment. You know. Yet they still scheming. I'm gonna say this again. This is why I say feminine is showing it. For you to be for you to be what they think they're better than is funny to me. How they gotta go to all these great lengths with this shit. And then they secretly be suffering and struggling, hiding in apartments and shit. Getting their minions to run around the town doing shit for them. So you see what I'm saying? So who's prideful? Who's prideful then? And they ain't have people sabotaging. They're the sabotagers. They ain't have people meddling and sabotaging and they shit. They sabotage themselves and do shit with all this support with their whole little cold crew and still got fucked. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, feminine. I know that it's not over. And I know that you're still, like I said, whoever these karmas are, if that last reading is resonating, there's some kind of surprise. Surprising you. It's going to surprise everybody. It's something small that they did. Something small they did or that they had somebody to do. And everybody thinks it's under the radar or nobody's going to ever know or something like that. Or it's going to be too late. Something. One of those things where it's like by the time somebody knows it's going to be blah, 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 whatever. Not this time. Something small is going to lead to some kind of a domino effect. which sometimes that's the way it has to happen, especially when you're dealing with some of this major organized community shit where it's like a lot of authority figures are involved and a lot of money and all this stuff. So sometimes it has to be like maybe that smaller time shit that opens the door to go, okay, like this person's got a lot of criminalities going on right now that's hidden. And they use other people though. Now this might be a sad thing because these are the energies that let other people do their dirty work and don't care nothing about it. And I guarantee you, if that's the case, they're going to allow, if they let somebody do their dirty work, they may get in trouble, but they gonna make some kind of deal possibly and throw under the bus the very ones that they got to do the shit. And that's gonna be hilarious and fucked up. Because these people went overkill and they're still doing overkill trying to fuck with you.